In this video I shall be tying a hotspot spider. I have chosen to tie this fly on a Fullingmill heavyweight jump hook. You could choose any wet fly hook or even a dry fly if you want a lighter presentation. Mount your hook in the vise, test the hold and hook, then catch on your thread. Here I'm using the Semperfli Nano silk in 18 knot because I want a nice slim profile. Once you've caught on the thread, trim off the waist tag. Proceed a couple more wraps and then catch in your wire rib. I want to catch in the wire rib before I form the underbody to keep the profile of the body as slim as possible. As you see, I would catch the wire on the underside of the hook. This allows to keep a symmetric profile to the fly. If you tied it in on the side, there would be a distinct ridge down the side of the fly. Take the body down past the point of the hook to roughly where the barb would be. Return the thread towards the eye, leaving a bit of space for your thorax. Now wind the silver wire rib in even turns. The number of turns can be varied to suit your preference, but if you keep the angle of the thread constant, it should help achieve a nice even rib. Catch in your thread a couple of turns and bind down towards the eye a little before helicoptering off. The next step is to catch in the micro Fritz for the thorax and hotspot. Try and bind this down neatly towards the eye so you don't leave too many strands where you're going to be hackling or at the head of the fly, and catch down towards where you want the hotspot to start. You want to leave a few mil to get a nice size of hotspot that will stand out without encroaching too much on the space for the hackle. A few turns of the micro Fritz should be plenty. Catch in with a couple of turns of thread, a locking turn and trim away. Then tidy up around the head of the fly and create a bed to tie the hackle in. You don't need a lot of space, as this fly will be quite lightly hackled. Again, the amount of hackle you put on can be varied to suit your preference. Looking for a feather with a barbule length of between 1.5 and 2 times the gape of the hook. Pull off the fluff from the base of the feather and we'll tie it in by the tip of the feather so you can measure the barbules to make sure you start at a suitable point on the feather. Usually this won't be very close to the tip. So catch in stock with a few wraps forward, bend the tip back and tie in. This should give quite a secure hold. Whilst the hold will be secure, the stock on the hen feathers is very weak and fragile, so be very careful when you get the first turn of the hackle on. Double the feather back as you wind, and wind in touching turns forward, trying to avoid trapping any of the feather barbules. As I said, you can vary the number of turns to suit the fly you want. 2 or 3 turns should be enough for most flies. Once you're happy with the hackle you've got on, catch in with the thread, a couple of turns, and then hold the hackle forward and tie in probably. Now fold the hackle back and any stray barbules and bind down, forming a nice neat head. This is where a nice thin thread like the Nano silk comes in handy, as you can get quite a few wraps on without building too much bulk. Once you're happy, pull off the waist hackle. You may feel safer using scissors to remove these. If you do want to pull it off, holding the thread under tension will help avoid any disasters. Then add on your whip finish, trying not to catch any of the barbules. 3 or 4 turns should be plenty. Then trim off your thread. Then a couple of wee checks to make sure I'm happy with how the hackle's sitting. And then apply some head cement, or as I'm doing in this case, UV resin. Sorry about the fingers getting in the way. And another little touch on the underside. Before setting it with a torch, I decided to remove this stray feather as I'm not completely happy with where it's sitting. Then set the resin with the torch. You can see that the gel core micro Fritz has a nice fluorescence in the UV light. And that's the fly finished. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, please like it and subscribe to my channel.